lineups for tonight's game.
Schlagle putting up 4 starters, Bud, that average in double figures. McPherson has only 2 players that go double figures. And the big scorer for them, Chris Weems, averages 18.3 a game. So Coach Henson talked about he didn't want a running game against this team because they can fill up that net and put big numbers on the board in a hurry.
And the Bullpups coming into the ball game, well, they're playing some pretty good ball themselves right now. They have been working some not up to their best during the last, 4 or 5, a couple of weeks anyway, 4 or 5 ball games leading into the sub-state. Didn't have a very good game against Lyon South, opening game of the sub-state. But then they began to turn things on and really came on strong through the sub-state. They've had an excellent quarterfinal and semifinal game here, really handling Great Bend well last night to earn their way to the championship game.
Yeah, and McPherson really has been consistent all season long. They're the only team to come into the state tournament with 1 loss. Schlagle, on the other hand, was the only team in the tournament to come in here with 2 losses. So both of their losses, you mentioned earlier, Bud, have been over 6A competition. So we know that the teams they play really do prepare them for some tough competition down the line.
And we're getting ready to get out on the court. The Bullpups going to be in their home uniforms. The Bullpups in their home whites trimmed in red. The Stallions in their blue trimmed in gold and white. It'll be the Bullpups going left to right. As you look at the radio dial, the Stallions still surrounding their coach on the far side. Bullpups already on the court and ready to go. And a little bit of nervous energy on the Bullpups out there as they wait around for the Stallions to come out, and here they come. That'll be Sean Peters stepping in to jump center for the Bullpups. He'll be going up against number 53, Glenn Williamson, a 6'7" senior. And for the Schlagle Stallions, Stallions going to go right to left. And we're going to be watching a tremendously athletic team in this game tonight in the Stallions. The Bullpups playing good team basketball, and this ought to be a good one, Chad. The referee steps in, the ball's in the air. The tip will be controlled by the Stallions in their backcourt. The Schlagle Stallions start with the basketball. It'll be Weems, number 40, out top. 40 is going to be Wesley, with the basketball. Wesley with the ball, dribbles out to the top of the circle. The Bullpups on him. The Bullpups opening up right now in a kind of a box and one type of defense. They got Alexander on Weems, who gets the ball, puts up the first shot. It's knocked away, no good, but the big guy, Williamson, runs it down for the Stallions. They go off to Wesley, inside, driving in for the layup. Leslie shot no good. We got a whistle and a foul on the rebound. Peyton Leslie got the basketball, penetrated in, put it up. We got a whistle and a foul on the Bullpups, and who's it going to go against? Number 35, that'll be Brian Moffitt, and how many times have we seen him draw an early first quarter foul?
Brian usually either hits a quick 3-pointer or draws an early foul.
Bringing the ball in bounds, here come the Stallions. Weems has it out top, into the hands of Martez Wesley. Wesley with the basketball, pulls out. He's going to set it up the offense. They'll come left side to Peyton. He'll put up a jumper. He gets Sean Peters in the air and then pops it over in for 2. 2-0. Peyton Wesley gives the Stallions the early lead. Hoover with the basketball. To Moffitt on the near side. Brian hangs on to it, off to Alexander at the top. Left side feed to Kelly Hoover. We played a minute of basketball. It's 2-0 in favor of the Stallions. The Bullpups going to hang on to it right now. We saw this strategy applied by Coach Henson against an outstanding Liberal team 2 years ago in the semifinals that wound up in a Bullpup victory. With the basketball, it'll be Peters on the left side, kicks it out top to Kelly Hoover, almost stolen out there by Martez Wesley. Hoover with the basketball, just hanging on to it out top. He'll go to the dribble, come near side to Alexander. Josh with the ball, puts it on the floor. He's going to be covered on defense by Brian Young. Weaves around to the left side, shuffles the ball off to Moffitt. Brian Moffitt on the dribble, comes out top, calls for the team to set into motion. He's looking for Alexander to come out to the right side. Josh comes out near him, but everybody backs away from Moffitt. He'll give the ball to Alexander on the near side. Josh drives down to the right. He'll switch to the left hand, penetrate inside, do a spin move, almost lose the dribble. We got a whistle and a double dribble called against Josh Alexander.
Josh drove into the lane, kind of lost the ball for the strong Schlagle defense, and then when he picked it up, he started dribbling it again. The Bullpups have been the recipients of a slowdown strategy several times this year, but they haven't used it on anyone yet.
With the basketball, the Stallions have it out top. They go right side to Peyton, and he's going to be called for the travel. Good call. As Peyton Leslie got his hands on the ball, did a little shuffle step at the edge of the paint and got called for the travel. That'll be a turnover now on each team.
Bullpups showing some proper respect for Chris Weems with the box and one, and we haven't seen that from the Bullpups this year either.
Hoover with the ball, right side to Brian Moffitt. The Bullpups in the forecourt, going left to right. Moffitt dribbles to the top of the circle, pulls it back out top. Left side to Alexander. Josh on the slow dribble, down the left sideline, picks up the dribble. Somebody's got to come out to him. And they're putting pressure on. They finally go to Peters. To Chris Johnson inside. Chris puts it on the floor. He had a turnaround jumper if he wanted it, but the Bullpups being patient, not taking any early shots. There's going to be Hoover with the ball. Penetrates inside, stops, pops a little 8-foot jumper right in front of the hoop, and we're tied at 2. 2-2, 5:15 to go here in the first quarter. Schlagle with the basketball, out top on the dribble. Number 40, Martez Wesley, comes on the near side of the big guy, Williamson, 6'7" senior. They get the ball inside, turnaround jumper, up and good by Peyton Leslie. Peyton drills that one home, and it's 4-2. Stallions up by a pair. Hoover out top, holds up his right fist, calls out the play. He'll go left side to Brian Moffitt. Moffitt with the basketball, comes out to the top of the circle to Alexander. Josh hanging on the ball, goes to Hoover. Hoover will penetrate down low, kick the ball out to Sean Peters. Free throw jumper is in and out, no good. Rebound down to Williamson, and the Stallions on the run come away with the basketball. Right in front of us, it'll be Wesley. He'll pull up everything, set up the offense. Wesley dribbles to the top of the circle. Weems is over on the right wing. He'll now cross over to the left side. Alexander sticking on him like glue. Instead, it's Peyton Wesley on the right side, and he'll bury another one. And I think Wesley's got all of the points so far, as it's 6-2 for the Stallions. And all of them coming from Peyton Leslie. Hoover with the basketball. Bounce pass out to Moffitt. Hands the ball over to Alexander, back to Hoover. Kelly holding up the right fist. The Bullpups call out the play. Hoover with a left-handed dribble to the top of the circle. Looks to the left, goes left to Brian Moffitt. Moffitt hangs on to the basketball, dribbles out top. Looks to the right side. He'll go right to Alexander. Josh puts it on the floor. Goes around a screen by Chris Johnson. Now he'll kick it out on the left side to Brian Moffitt in three-point territory. No shot. To Alexander. Out top to Hoover. Josh wanted somebody to break into the middle. The baseline was open, but nobody got there. Hoover, right side to Brian Moffitt. Moffitt with the basketball. He'll dribble to the top of the circle, lob it up to Chris Johnson. His free throw jumper is good. And Chris Johnson from the free throw line with a jumper, and it's 6-4. The Stallions by a pair. 3.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. That'll be the point guard, number 40, Martez Wesley with the dribble across the midcourt line. Slowly across the court they come. Williamson, the big guy, out top. Right side feed to Brian Young. Young back to Weems. Three-point jumper's good. Alexander right on him, but Weems elevated way up in the air and got the three-pointer to go. 8-4. It's a two-pointer. He stepped on the line. It stays 8-4 in favor of the Stallions. Sean Peters lobs it inside to Chris Johnson. Turnaround, lay-in, won't go. Gets his own rebound. Tries to go back up. It's knocked out of his hands, and Williamson comes away with the basketball. Good quick hands by the Stallions that time. Out top, Martez Wesley with a dribble. Hoover picks him up on defense. He'll come near side to Leslie, Peyton Leslie. Right side to Weems. Three-point jumper, rims away, no good. Rebound, though, into the hands of number 40, Martez Wesley, and he tips it in for two. 10-4. The Stallions off to a 6-point lead. Alexander with the basketball. Does the spin move. He'll try to penetrate. Gets cut off by Young. Goes back to the right side. Loses the basketball. We got a whistle and a foul. First foul of the game against the Stallions. It'll be Brian Young with a little bit of push on the back of Alexander. Bullpup ball on the near side, out of bounds. 2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter, and it's 10-4 in favor of Schlagle, and they aren't missing their shots when they get them.
The Bullpup offense really doesn't look like it's in gear either, bud. They look kind of out of sync, and they really haven't run the slowdown game, and they're not used to it.
Hoover with the basketball, dribbles to the top of the circle, does a spin move, shuffles the ball inside. It's a baseline move by Alexander, shovels it out to Johnson, and it's knocked away. Wesley on the basketball. Martez takes it in, shoves the ball back out, and an interception by Johnson to Alexander. Josh going in for the easy layup, and it's knocked out of his hands. We got a whistle and a foul. And Chris Weems thought he had all ball, and I'll tell you what, it looked like it from here, but the ball was down around the knees when it was knocked out of Alexander's hands, and the referees, who have a hard time keeping up with that kind of a sprint pace, not in the greatest of positions, but we got Alexander at the line shooting two. We'll take it.
Josh Alexander got the ball. He crossed half court all alone, bud, and Weems just came out of nowhere, flying down the court. It looked like he stripped him clean, but they got him on the arm.
Alexander, a 71% free throw shooter on the season, makes the first one, and it's 10-5. Kansas City Schlagle leading by 5. Josh with a chance to bring the Pups to within 4, and he does it. 10-6, Pups trailing by 4. Stallions with the basketball. Schlegel puts it in the hands of their point guard, Martez Wesley. Wesley on a slow dribble, walks it across the midcourt line. Now he'll come to the left side, pass the ball off on the right to Williamson. The big 6'7" senior stands out top. They go to Leslie. Peyton, Leslie drives in, puts up the jumper, won't go, tip up, won't go. Wesley gets his own rebound and lays it in.
And Schlegel is all over the boards. They're getting a lot of offensive rebounds and stickbacks.
Hoover with the ball to Johnson out top, to Pyle on the left side. In the ball game now. Pyle is going to be getting the ball off to Alexander, and Josh fouled from behind by Brian Young. That was a good, clean foul that time. Coming into the ball game is going to be number 25, Corey Fort. Fort is a 5'10" junior for the Stallions. He looks more like 5'7" or 8 out there. Ford will come into the ball game. Also, Moffitt coming back into the ball game, replacing Sean Peters for the Bullpups. It'll be Alexander to bring the ball inbounds on the left side baseline. Bounce pass inside. Chris Johnson's jumper is good. He was wide open, 12 feet out on the left corner, and it's good.
Chris Johnson's a little smaller, so he's stepping out and taking that jumper, displaying some good range.
Minute and a half to go in the first quarter, and it's 12-8 in favor of the Stallions. They have the basketball. Martez Wesley with the ball. Out top to Peyton Leslie. On the near side to Ford. To Weems on the right. Alexander on defense. They give the ball quickly back around to Wesley. Wesley out top to Ford. He'll penetrate, drive in, the ball knocked out of his hands by Brian Pyle, but he's called for the foul. And Henson on his feet saying, come on, guys, you can't reach from behind on these people. You got to move your feet and stay in front of them.
Brian had a difficult time keeping up with the quickness of Schlegel that time, and he had to reach around and grab him by the arm.
It'll be it'll be Schlegel basketball rather on the baseline. Stepping out of bounds, number 45, Peyton Leslie, to bring the ball in just to the left of the basket. Gets it in out top to Martez Wesley. Wesley on the right-handed dribble to the top of the circle. Hoover on him on defense. The Stallions patiently setting up their offense. They'll go to Peyton on the right side. On the near side to Fort. Fort with the basketball to Weems. He'll stop. Pop a 17-footer that's going to be no good. Little Kelly Hoover on a rebound for the Bullpups. On the run, here come the Pups. Across the hash mark, or on the near side, rather. Hoover with the basketball on the dribble. He'll come out top to Alexander. Josh, bounce pass over to Brian Pyle. In the corner to Hoover. Hoover on the deep left corner will dribble the ball out top. Holds up his right fist to call out the play. Down to 35 seconds in the quarter and counting. 12-8. Schlegel on top. Pyle with the ball to Alexander. Josh on the left side. Does a penetration move. Spins inside. Goes hard to the hoop. It's no good, but he's fouled. Josh can do that physically with his strong team, and if he does that a couple more times, I would look for them to drop back or just sag in on him, and then he can kick the ball out for some good outside shoots.
Great individual move by Josh Alexander that time. Got around Corey Fort, but really he ran into a double team and gave an additional ball fake to get the rest of the way to the basket, and he almost finished that off.
Free throw shot up and good. Josh 3 for 3 from the line, and it's going to be 12-9. Bullpups are pulled within 3. Dylan Fiedler into the ball game now, replacing Kelly Hoover. He'll be in for the last 25 seconds of this first quarter. Fiedler, an outstanding three-point shooter. He looks nervous out there. Free throw shot up, no good this time. Rebound down to the Stallions. They'll walk it across the midcourt line, likely go for the last shot. It'll be Martez Wesley with the basketball out top. He'll dribble around to the right side, go out to Weems at the top of the circle. Back to Wesley on the right. Then Wesley wanted to lob it inside, goes inside to Peyton, and his shot's up and good. Peyton Leslie got it in for 2. At the buzzer, bouncing off the rim, no good, as Brian Pyle let it go from midcourt. After 1 quarter play, our score, Schlegel 14, McPherson 9. We'll be back in a half a minute. To the Topeka Expo Center, our score after 1 quarter, 14-9 in favor of the Kansas City Schlegel Stallions. The Bullpups 3 out of 5 from the field, 3 out of 4 from the free throw line. Schlegel 7 out of 13. So Schlegel getting a lot more shots, 8 more shots at the basket than did the Bullpups that time. The Bullpups going with a bit of a slow down strategy. Henson wanted to keep the ball game close, getting into that latter part of the second half, and then make a run for it. With the basketball, Fiedler out top. He'll dribble to the left side, bounce it down to Moffitt. Brian with the basketball. He'll dribble, go out top to Pyle. Pyle right side to Chris Johnson. The Bullpups keeping it on the perimeter. Johnson's got the big guy Williamson out on him. He'll dribble, bounce it out to Fiedler. Dillon with the ball, a good three-point shooter. He'll go to the left side, now come back to the right, then go to the left. Bounce it down low to Moffitt. Brian inside to Johnson. He's wide open, goes inside and banks it up. It won't go. Williamson on the rebound. We got a whistle and a Referee just stopping the clock because Williamson had his glasses knocked off. We got away with a foul on that one, but Johnson was hit in the chest to chest, going on his shot with no call. So they kind of evened themselves out on that one.
Chris put on a good move to get an open shot in the paint, but he went up tentative with it. The bigger Schlagle players intimidating the Bullpups just a little bit right now.
Williamson with the ball, gets it, penetrates into the paint, loses the basketball, but runs it down. Out to Corey Ford. Ford will dribble it back out top, and Schlagle sets the offense up. They get it in Martez Wesley's hands. Wesley dribbles to the top of the circle, looks to the left, goes the left to Peyton Leslie. He'll drive in, and his layup's good. How many points has that guy got? 12 points of the 16 that Schlagle has have been Peyton Leslie. Somebody's got to get on him and shut him down. It's 16-9 in favor of Schlagle. Out front with the basketball, Josh Alexander. Directing Fiedler, go around to the left side. He wants Moffitt to come out on the right, bounces in the ball. Moffitt puts it on the floor, bounce over to Fiedler. On the left side, they go to Chris Johnson. Johnson with the basketball, holds it up high, goes to Alexander out top. Three-point shot by Josh. He's going to be short, no good. Battle for the boards inside, whistle and a foul. And they're going to call it on Dylan Fiedler. Fiedler, the only Bullpup in there going for that rebound. There were 3 blue jerseys, and Fiedler got caught reaching in with the foul.
There were 3 blue jerseys surrounding the basket, Bud, and that's what we've seen most of all in this first half. Dylan just tried to sneak around on the inside and get a cheap rebound, but he couldn't do it.
6.5 to go in the first half, and it's 16-9 in favor of Schlagle. Whistle and a timeout by the Bullpups. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
He's a good shooter.
The Bullpups coming back on the court after this timeout find themselves trailing by 7, 16-9, and it's Schlagle with the basketball after the Fiedler foul on the rebound attempt. Schlagle bringing the ball inbounds on their deep backcourt. 6.5 to go here in the first half. And they bring it slowly across the midcourt line. They have been getting good shooting, though, out of number 45, Peyton Leslie. Ball on the near side to Ford, back out top to Martez Wesley. They get it in Weems' hands. Cross-court pass skip over to Ford. He'll drive inside over Sean Peters. Shot won't go. Rebound inside by Schlagle. They lose the basketball. Who's it going to be? But Josh Alexander coming away with it. That time, Jason Black had the ball but couldn't come away with it as Josh got the steal. Alexander with the ball. Penetrates, goes in for the layup. It's good, and he's fouled. And right now, it's a one-man show for the Bullpups, and his name is Josh Alexander. He's at the line with a chance at a three-point play. Alexander 3 out of 4 from the free throw line tonight. 16-11, the Bullpups trail by 5, exactly 6 minutes to go in the second quarter.
All the Bullpups playing very tentative, and Josh finally just showing that he's being aggressive and playing with some confidence. He knows he has to take it to the hole, so maybe he can start to spur this Bullpup team on.
And the Bullpups making another player change. Chris Johnson re-entering the ball game, replacing Brian Moffitt.
Chris Johnson for McPherson.
Oh, the Bullpups with Fiedler, Hoover, Alexander, Johnson, and Peters in the lineup. Josh's free throw up and good. 16-12 is our score. The Bullpups trail by 4. Alexander having a good night for the Bullpups with 6 points. With the basketball, coming on the near side, it'll be Weems. Back out top to Martez Wesley. He looks for Ford, who was too slow getting in position. To go to Weems, he'll go baseline, elevate, pop the jumper from 12 feet out on the left side, and it's good. Weems buried it, and it's 18-12. Schlagle by 6. Hoover with the basketball to Johnson, left side to Alexander. Joss out of three-point land, calls for Fiedler to come out, but he's a little too slow. Instead, they go down low to Sean Peters. Peters puts it on the floor, gets away with the travel, turnaround, jumper's good. Last year, Sean Peters had a great game against Schlagle coming off the bench. Tonight, a little bit tentative, but maybe that one will warm him up. 8 Bullpups trail by 4. With the basketball, Fort out top, whipping around the perimeter, go to Weems on the near side. He'll penetrate, kick the ball out to number 54. We got a whistle and a foul on Alexander. Getting the basketball, Jason Black, and he got fouled. Weems with a good, quick, almost no-look type pass. The Bullpups defense collapsed but drew the foul. That'll be Alexander's first foul, the 4th team foul against the Bullpups. There have been 5 whistles go against the Stallions.
Josh just trying to do a little bit too much that time, trying to make something happen when it wasn't there, and he got caught with a foul reaching in.
Peyton Leslie inbounds the ball into Weems, back to Wesley in the paint. Turnaround jumper from 12 is good, and that man is hot. 20-14, 5 minutes to go in the first half. Sean Peters with the basketball, Schlagle with the lead. Alexander out top to Fiedler. Dillon right side to Kelly Hoover. I'd like to see Kelly put a three-pointer up. Kelly penetrates, gets it out to Alexander, back to Kelly Hoover. He'll hold up his left fist, call out the play. Bullpups come back to the offense. 4:40 and counting. We're in the second quarter. 20-14, Schlagle. Hoover with the basketball on the left side. Alexander penetrating, running, diving jumper. That's good. Josh Alexander gets his 8th point, and it's 20-16. Schlagle by 4, and they have the basketball. 4:20 to go in the first half. Martez Wesley on a slow dribble to Weems. They go down baseline to Peyton Leslie. Back to Weems. Weems out top, whip the ball around the perimeter. They go to Ford on the right side. Corey Ford back to Wesley, to Ford on the right side. Thinks about a three-pointer, won't take it. The Bullpups in a 1-3-1. They come to Weems on the near side. His jumper's no good. Rebound, Chris Johnson. Outlet to Hoover. The Bullpups need to get it on the run, but Schlagle back on good, quick defense. Hoover gets the ball down, out top to Fiedler. Sets up for three from the NBA. Land, it's good! Dylan Fiedler from behind the NBA stripe buries a three-pointer, and it's 20-19. The Pups within one. 3:45 to go in the second quarter. Schlagle with the basketball. The Pup faithful on their feet on the far side, roaring with delight. Martez Wesley with the basketball. The Ford on the right side. Back to Wesley out top. The Ford, he sets up for three, won't shoot. Flip it around to Weems on the near side. He's got Hoover on him on defense. They go inside to Peyton Leslie, and he just power moves in for two. It's the Peyton Leslie show tonight for the Stallions. Peters with the ball to Alexander. The Bullpups on offense in the forecourt. Josh bounces it down to the left corner to Hoover. Hoover wanted to go inside to Sean Peters, but Peters gets double teamed in there, and they can't get the ball to him. 3:05 to go in the quarter, 22-19. Schlagle with a three-point lead. Hoover out top on the dribble. Brings it slowly to the top of the circle. Going to start a penetration move, drive to the right side. He's going to go baseline all the way in. Running layup is good. Kelly Hoover pulls the Pups to within one. 22-21, 2:45 to go in the second quarter. Schlagle with the lead in the basketball. Schlagle on the dribble. They go to the right side to Weems. Back out top to Wesley. Left side to Ford to Wesley. They're keeping it on the perimeter right now. It'll be Corey Ford for three. Rims out, no good. Dylan Fiedler on the rebound. The Bullpups can take their first lead on this trip down the court. Alexander in the corner to Hoover. Fakes the shot. Out top to Johnson. Free throw. Jumper's good. The Bullpups lead 23-22. 2:19 to go in quarter number two. And the Bullpups take their first lead of the night. And listen to this crowd. With the basketball, it'll be Weems on the near side. Schlagle has it on offense. They go to Black in the corner. Back out top to Wesley, to Weems. Three-point shot from the left side's nothing but net. That young man is a pure shooter. 25-23, Schlagle by two. Hoover with the basketball. To Sean Peters out top, left side Alexander. Josh with the basketball. Comes out top to Fiedler, almost with a steal. Fiedler drives into the paint, goes to Alexander. He'll get underneath, too far. We got a whistle and a traveling call. He shuffled his feet. A few too many fakes, and I tell you, Schlagle doesn't go for those fakes. They wait and go in the air when you do.
Schlagle has the opportunity of having that height inside, and they don't need to get way off their feet to block shots, so they can kind of sit tight and wait for those head fakes to get by.
25-22, a lead by the Schlagle Stallions with 1:35 to go here in the second quarter, and they have the basketball. Martez Wesley feeds it on the right side to Brian Young. Back to Wesley. A little travel by Young over there, no call. They'll come to Wesley. Looks down low, goes down low to Peyton Leslie. Back across to Young in three-point land, no shot. To Wesley, back to Young. His three-pointer is going to rim off, no good. Whistle, we got a whistle and a foul against Chris Weems. That'll be number two. And the whistle blew before the ball even got to the hoop. And that's the fourth turnover against the Stallions. And Weems committing the offensive foul. It'll be his second. He'll sit down. And Corey Ford comes in to replace him.
Weems was on the backside of that play, and he didn't know there was an official behind him, so he just kind of sneak a little shove into Josh Alexander's back.
And with three officials, you almost always get caught with it. Two, you get away with it, but this has been a well-officiated game, a very well-officiated game so far. Alexander on the near side with the basketball. The Bullpups trail by two. To go to Chris Johnson at the free throw line. In the corner to Fiedler for three. Dillon rims it in and out, no good. Rebound down to the Stallions. They come on the run. Fiedler back on defense, and his Shot's no good. Rebound down to Chris Johnson. The ball knocked out of his hands. The Stallions keep it. They get the ball out top to Peyton Leslie. 50 seconds to go in the first half, and it's 25-23. Stallions up. And they're going to go for the last shot. Stallions hold the ball. Hoover drops back on defense. The Bullpups not coming out tough on man-to-man right now. They get it to Brian Young out top. Brian dribbles all around the right side to Corey Fort. Fort dribbles left hand to the top of the circle. Feeds the ball off to Martez Wesley. Wesley with the basketball. 28, 27, 26 seconds and counting. Bullpups trailing by 2, 25-23. And the Stallions with the ball are going to go for the last shot. 19, 18, 17 seconds to go. Out top of the basketball, Martez Wesley, the point guard. With a left-handed dribble, he'll take it to the top of the circle. Under 10 seconds. They go on the right side. Wesley's three-pointer, no good. The battle for the ball is won by Chris Johnson. Outlet to Fiedler. 4 seconds, there's time. They go to Hoover. He'll penetrate, elevate, running jumper at the gun, won't go. The Bullpups had a chance to tie it at the gun. It wouldn't go down. It's halftime in the boys Class 5A state championship game, and I'll tell you what, this is what championship games are supposed to be like. 25-23, Schlagle by 2.
Most of the stuff has either come from, well, a three-pointer or a drives.
Bring her back. Starting off the third quarter, the basketball belongs to the Kansas City Schlagle Stallions. They lead 25-23. Schlagle going left to right, the Bullpups right to left for the second half as you look at your radio dials. Out top with the basketball, and Schlagle right now just very patiently keeping it around the outside. It'll be Brian Young on the far side, out top to Peyton Leslie. Right side feed to Martez Wesley. Wesley with the basketball, looks for Weems. He's got Hoover on him on defense now. The Bullpups making some changes. Bullpups good defense right now. They got the ball in Weems' hands. They go to Wesley at the free throw line. Peyton Leslie, rather, and he steps inside the paint and pops one from 12.
The Bullpups have got to find a way to put a body on Peyton Leslie. You just can't lose a guy like that on the court.
27-23, Schlagle by 4. Hoover with the basketball, puts it on the floor, penetrates, kicks the ball out on the left side to Brian Moffitt. His three-pointer is, and Brian Moffitt makes it a one-point ball game. Is 27-26, Kansas City Schlagle. 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. With the basketball, Schlagle across the midcourt line slowly. Go left side to Young. Feed it inside, back to Young. He thinks about a three-pointer, won't shoot. To Williamson, the big guy, whipping around the right side. Three-point shot up and good by number 40, Martez Wesley. So they answer 3 for 3. 30-26, Stallions by 4. Moffitt with the basketball on the left side. Out top to Alexander to Sean Peters. Peters right side to Hoover. He'll put it on the floor, take it down near the baseline, now pull it back out. Looking for a penetration, and Martez Wesley comes out on him on defense. Bullpup setting up the offense, right side to Brian Moffitt. Moffitt with the basketball. He'll put it on the floor, go around a screen set by Chris Johnson, take it to the top of the circle. Inside to Johnson, back out to Alexander. Joss out in NBA three-point area. Feeds the ball off to Kelly Hoover. He holds up 2 fingers on his right hand, calls out the play. Bullpups go to action. Kick the ball on the left side to Brian Moffitt. Out top to Johnson at the free throw line. Jumper is good. Chris Johnson with his 8th point, and he's shooting them nice from outside. He's a good free throw shooter, and that's where he shot that one from.
Chris Johnson's been cultivating his post moves all season long and really has formed an outstanding post game, but now he's coming out and shooting the jump shot.
It'll be 28-30. Pups trailing by 2. Stallions with the basketball. Peyton Leslie with the ball out top. Left side feed to Williamson. A big 6'7" guy's been a non-factor so far. They go to Young at the free throw line. His jumper short, no good. Kelly Hoover on the rebound. Bullpups can tie or take a lead on this trip down. Hoover with the basketball, dribbles down the right side, lobs it inside to Sean Peters. The ball knocked away by Williamson, and the Schlagle Stallions with a steal. Weems has the basketball on the left side. He'll do a penetration move, whistle, and a blocking foul on Alexander will be his second. And give Weems credit that time. He just lowered a shoulder and took a drive step at Alexander. He was backing out of the way, but not quick enough to get out of the way.
Good recognition by Weems. He knew that Josh wasn't set, was sliding on the defense, and he went right to him.
30-28, Kansas City Schlagle with a lead of 2 points, 5:20 and counting in the third quarter. Alexander with his second foul. They go out top to Weems, and he'll bury a three-pointer. And it's 33-28, a 5-point lead for the Stallions. Hoover with the basketball, drives down the right side, kicks it out top to Moffitt. To Chris Johnson, around the perimeter left side to Alexander. Josh with the basketball, wanting to go inside to Sean Peters. They can't get it done. Instead, they go to Hoover out top. Kelly between the legs dribble. He'll stand up, hold out 2 fingers in the right hand, go to the offense. They come to Alexander on the near side. Brian Young's on him on defense. Left side to Moffitt. Inside Chris Johnson. He's open. He'll go to the hoop and bank it in.
Chris Johnson having a fine, outstanding offensive game, putting some jump shots in. Now he got in the low post. Good ball fake and good finish.
33-30 our score. Stallions on top by 3, and they have the basketball. 4.5 to go in the third quarter. Peyton Leslie with the ball out top. Right side to Young. They go to Williamson. To Weems. Back into Williamson. A give and go. A little travel inside. Nothing. We got a whistle, and they're going to call a foul on who? I believe it'll be Sean Peters. And Sean did create the foul, but I tell you, I think Williamson did a little traveling inside before the foul got there.
Glenn Williamson caught that entry pass off of his shoelaces. It caused him to have a little stutter step inside. They could have called the travel, but Sean Peters was right there giving him a little shove, and he'll go to the line.
Williamson at the line. He's going to be shooting 2 shots. They said he was in the act of shooting on that one, and I don't know how they figured that. Williamson at the line. His left-handed free throws up and rims away, no good.
Williamson's the starting center for them. He's staying 6'7", and he averages about 8.2 points a game.
And he is scoreless so far tonight. He'll get ready on the second free throw. It is up, and it is no good. Alexander on the rebound for the Bullpups. 33-30, Stallions on top, 4:20 and counting in the third quarter. Hoover with a basketball across the midcourt line on a slow dribble. The Bullpups take their time setting up the offense. Neither team really running and gunning, both trying to run good half-court games right now. Hoover out top to Alexander. Josh gets away with the travel, penetrates inside, spins, goes to the hoop. His layup wouldn't fall, but he'll be at the line shooting 2. Right now, Josh can do about what he wants to in there, it seems, but he can't get that ball to drop through the hoop.
Strong move by Josh again. That's really his patented move. He goes and kind of gives a little stutter step at the free throw line, spins the 360, and many times this season, Bud, we've seen him finish off that shot, but he went up against Peyton Leslie, a very strong player that fouled him hard.
Shot on the way up, and it's good. And the foul is going to be called against Brian Young. That'll be Young's 3rd foul. Corey Fort getting ready to come in the ball game. He'll come in and replace Young. Fort, pretty good little ball handler himself in there. A little bit shorter than Young, but height hasn't bothered Alexander so far. Josh at the line, ready for the second free throw. It's on the way, and it's good. So Josh makes it a 1-point game again, 33-32. Kansas City Schlagle with a 1-point lead in the basketball. Martez Wesley on the dribble across the midcourt line. Holds up a thumb on his right hand, calling out the play. They come to Peyton Leslie. Spin move around Sean Peters. The basket's good, and Peters fouls him. And Sean just a step slow on him. Unable to handle the big guy who got around him, put in the easy layup, really. And Sean from behind with the foul. It'll be Sean's 2nd foul. And it's 35-32. Schlagle by 3 with a chance to make it 4 at the free throw line in the person of Peyton Leslie.
And you don't expect a guy that big to be that quick, but he got around on that shot and laid it up and in.
As Leslie has 20 points, make it 21. 21 of the 36 points that Schlagle has come from number 45. 3:45 and counting here in the third quarter. Hoover with the basketball, right side to Alexander. 36-32, Schlagle with the lead. They go to Sean Peters. Free throw jumper is going to be way short. Like a rocket, hits the front of the rim and drops down. Schlagle with a rebound. Not the shot that Hinson wanted Sean Peters to take. Out top of the basketball, Corey Ford on the dribble to the top of the circle, looks to the right side, comes right to Chris Weems. Weems driving on Alexander, feeds the ball off to Martez Wesley. Wesley now has Hoover on him on defense to Corey Ford. They're just playing a weave out top with the guards. Now Wesley tries to penetrate, pulls it back out, a little between the legs dribble, feeds it off to Weems. Weems drives right behind the back dribble, bounce pass on the right side to Martez Wesley, driving layup into the paint, and it's good. They kind of got the Bullpup defense standing there with not a lot of motion, and all of a sudden they take off, and the Bullpups are all caught flat-footed. 38-32, 6-point lead. It's been a long time since Schlagle's been up by that much. Alexander with the basketball to Brian Moffitt. His three-pointer is going to be off the front of the rim, short, no good. Williamson on the rebound for Schlagle. Outlet pass to Martez Wesley. He'll slow it down and walk it across the midcourt line. As their coach on the far side says, take our time, guys. Out top to Corey Ford. Right side to Weems. Alexander on him on defense. He'll elevate for 3. It's good. 3-point shot. It's 41-32. A 9-point lead. Bang, bang, bang. It was 33-32, a 1-point game moments ago. and an 8-0 run by Schlagle. And it's 41-32. The Bullpups call timeout. 2:18 to go in the third quarter. We'll be back in a half a minute. And then Schlagle kind of took off on an 8-0 run. Into the ballgame now, Brian Pyle entering, and he'll replace Kelly Hoover, who sits down. Brian Moffitt also out of the ballgame as Dylan Fiedler comes in. Fiedler with some key three-pointers in that first half. The Bullpups, it's a steep hill when you're trailing 9 points to Schlagle. Fiedler with the ball, bounces it inside to Peters, back out to Alexander. Josh on the dribble, the Bullpups going right to left. Hinson wants the offense to move. Everybody's standing around, and he kind of in disgust sits down, and now people start moving. Pyle with the basketball out top. Bounces to Sean Peters on the left side. He puts it on the floor, penetrates in, loses the basketball, and they're saying that Schlagle touched it last. Sean Peters put it on the floor. He tried to drive. He got it by his man Williamson, but there was another set of quick hands there. Corey Ford knocking the ball away.
Smart play by Sean to leave it alone right at the end to get the ball back from McPherson.
Alexander inbounds the ball to Pyle. In the corner to Josh. In the left corner, he'll penetrate out to the, drive out to the free throw line and be fouled by Corey Ford. He was trying to drive around him, and they locked knees. Ford didn't like the call, but you got to call it. It was a good collision.
It's one of those calls where you just do have to call it. It's unfortunate they just kind of got collided, but the Schlagle player did impede the position and the drive of Josh Alexander.
Josh gets inbound pass from Brian Pyle right in front of us. The Bullpups going right to left. Alexander, penetration to the free throw line, double dribbles, gets away with it, goes for the shot, no good, gets the rebound, but it's stolen away by Weems, and he steps out of bounds. Martez Wesley stepped out of bounds, and Wesley goes to the official and says, I was pushed, but there were no white shirts around him. But I'll tell you what, Alexander, a definite double dribble. He dribbled, stopped, held on to the ball, and said, gee, I'm open. He dribbled again and drove. Alexander inbounds the pass to Sean Peters. He goes into the paint, elevates, jumper, good. Catch fire, Sean, we need you. 41-34, the Pups trail by 7. Schlagle with the basketball. They'll bring it slowly across the midcourt line. They have not tried to run it a lot. They've gone to a good half-court offense and really been doing well. Payton with the ball. He'll drive inside. His layup's no good, but we got a whistle and a foul. It'll be Chris Johnson on defense. And Payton just really too strong for Chris, leaned right into him, and Johnson couldn't get out of the way.
We saw Coach Henson in the first half try to change up the defenses and confuse the Schlagle offense a little bit. Well, and that brought the Bullpups back. He's with a down 9. Henson called timeout. Now he's going back to the man defense. He's thrown in already the box and one in the zone. So McPherson's going to try to change it up and make something happen.
Peyton Leslie at the free throw line. He'll be shooting 2 shots as he misfired on a layup attempt. First shot up and rims out, no good. Boy, that was about halfway down and bounced itself back out.
And he hasn't missed too many shots tonight.
41-34, Kansas City Schlagle leads by 7. Peyton Leslie at the line, his free throw shot up and good. 42-34, it's an 8-point lead for Kansas City Schlagle. Pyle with the ball out top for the Bullpups. Dribbles around to the top of the circle. 1:05 to go in the third quarter. Left side to Peters. He puts it on the floor, starts to drive, then holds it up. Inside to Alexander, who loses the ball, but he saves it. However, it's Jason Black with the ball for Kansas City. Schlagle with the ball. They get it in Martez Wesley's hands out top. Fiedler comes out on defense to hustle him a little bit, and he'll hold on to the basketball. An opportunity to go for a double-digit lead to be their biggest lead of the game. Jason Black with the basketball right in front of us. He'll dribble one time to the left side, go to Peyton Leslie. He'll drive inside. His layups is no good. Rebound down to Alexander. Josh with the ball, 35 seconds to go. Down to Pyle. Pyle sets up in three-point territory, won't shoot. Picks up his dribble, goes out top to Chris Johnson. Right side to Fiedler, almost throws it away as Dillon was looking inside of the baseline, directing traffic when the ball came his way. Out to Alexander, 20 seconds. The Bullpups are going to go for the last shot. 42-34. Kansas City Schlagle and McPherson Bullpups, and the Bullpups trailing at this point. 10, 9, 8 seconds to go. Alexander starts his move, penetrates, spins. Little layup is good. Basket drops. Alexander gets it to go. And a half-court shot is good. The basket counts, a three-pointer by Chris Weems, and it's going to be a 45-36 ball game, a 9-point lead. And, whoa, boy, what a shot at the gun from midcourt, Chad.
Boy, that's a dagger in the heart of McPherson. Josh Alexander putting on the great individual move to pull the Bullpups back within 6 to start that fourth quarter. And Weems comes right back and hits a 30-foot leaner off the board.
Pups are trailing by 9, and they got back in it. Got within 6 points, as you mentioned, and then, yes, just a midcourt prayer, but with Weems, they're not prayers. They're opportunities, and he made it go. 45-36 is our score, and it's Kansas City Schlagle up by a point. Right now, let's see, Chris Weems, how many points does he have? 26? That cannot possibly be right. Don't hit me in the face here as you're marking the points off. Let's see what he's got. 9 and 7, 16 points for Chris Weems. So, Chad, he is getting his points. He's up to 16 already after 3 quarters.
And he averages 18.3 a game. So the big scores for them, Peyton Leslie and Chris Weems, are getting their points.
Schlagle has had 3 players score, 22 for Peyton Leslie, 16 for Chris Weems, and 7 for Martez Wesley. Those are the only people that have scored, but that's all they've needed as they lead by 9. Bullpups start the fourth quarter with the basketball. It'll be Hoover on the inbounds pass from Alexander. Right side feed to Josh. Hands it off to Kelly. Kelly with the ball in three-point land. Won't take the shot. Bullpups can't waste a lot of time. He's got to get the offense moving, and here they go. Hinson getting on his feet and waving his hand saying, come on, guys, let's do something. Hoover calls out play number 2, and the ball fin starts moving. Right side feed to Alexander. Josh with the basketball. Looking in the middle. He's got Chris Johnson at the free throw line. He'll elevate for the jumper. It's no good. Josh Alexander dives for the rebound and saves it, but no, he steps out of bounds. One guy was really hustling that time, and it was Josh Alexander. And the Bullpups offense totally looked confused that time, Chad. They didn't know what they were doing, even with the play called out.
Point guard Kelly Hoover dribbling at the top. Hinson called 2 or 3 plays that time, and they wouldn't run any of them.
Nobody did anything. Martez Wesley with the basketball and a 9-point lead for Schlagle. Weems out top. They go to Williamson. Right side to Wesley. Inside of the big guy, Peyton Leslie. His turnaround jumper is going to be short, no good. Brian Moffitt on the rebound, comes away on the dribble. Moffitt across the midcourt line, right in front of us. Bounce pass out top to Alexander. To Hoover on the left side. Inside the paint to Chris Johnson, back to Kelly. He's going to penetrate, do a spin move. He can elevate and shoot. It won't go. Ball tipped out. We got a whistle and a foul, and they're going to call it on Brian Moffitt. A lot of contact that time going in for the shot, and Hinson is really unhappy with the official on that one. He said there should have been a whistle on the shot, and you wait and call it, and on the rebound.
Brian Moffitt, there was a lot of banging inside that time. It looked like each player was going up for the rebound, but really no impact on the game because Schlagle probably would have come down with the rebound on the tap anyway.
Bullpups shot a good 63%, 5 out of 8 in that third quarter, but Schlagle 78%, 7 out of 9. Good shooting by both teams. 6:35 to go in the ball. 36, Schlagle by 9. Young out top of the ball to Weems. 3-point shot is going to be good. Nothing but net. And it's a 12-point lead. The first time it's been double digits, the biggest lead of the night for the Stallions. Hoover with the basketball out top. The Bullpups got to get to their offense. They got to score some points. They go to Sean Peters outside of 3-point land on the right side. Out top to Johnson. He's going to put up a 3-pointer that's good. Chris Johnson for 3.
Chris Johnson's first 3-point attempt of the season, and he buries it.
And Hinson really smiling on the far side. Bullpups still trailing by 9, though. It's 48-39, under 6 minutes to go in the ball game. It'll be Peyton Leslie with the basketball. Out top to Young. Holds the ball over his head. He goes to Weems. Weems gets Johnson in the air. He'll drive in, put up a shot that's no good. Rebound down to Moffitt. Right side, they go down to Moffitt all the way down. Running layup is good. It was Hoover got the rebound. Outlet to Moffitt, and Bryan scores. 48-41, the Pups within 7. 5:35 to go. And Kansas City Schlagle Stallions are going to walk it slowly across the midcourt line.
And, Bud, that's about the 5th time Moffitt has led the pack, and that's the first time they've gotten the ball out there.
And right now, the Stallions not in any hurry to run an offense. The Bullpups need to come out and create defense. They got to get the ball to move. Schlagle doesn't need to shoot. They lead by 7. They can hang on to the ball until the Bullpups do something. Out top to Young, but that's not their nature. They go to Weems. He'll put up a 3-pointer that's good. Chris Weems lights out shooting. He had Hoover all over him, and he buried it. 51-41, it's a 10-point ball game. Sean Peters at the free throw line, buries it.
Sean Peters.
51-43, 4:50 to go in the ball game. Schlagle with the lead in the basketball. Brian Pyle getting ready to enter the lineup for the Bullpups. Martez Wesley across the line on the dribble. He'll stay out top and wait for somebody to come out and cover him on defense. Hoover does. They go right side to Wesley. He drags that back foot, no call on a travel. The Bullpups wanted it. Out top they go. Chris Weems has 6 3-pointers tonight, Chad. He had 7 last night. Peyton Wesley with the basketball. Off they go to Martez Wesley. Wesley with the basketball, hold it over his head. Out to Peyton Leslie. He'll put it on the floor, penetrate, elevate, kick the ball on the left side. Weems standing on the line. 2-pointer, no good. Muffin on the rebound. He's got Hoover coming down the left side. They should have got it to him, but they didn't do it in time. Now they got Hoover for a 3. It's going to be too hard. Air ball. And the Stallions knock it out of bounds. It'll be Bullpup ball. Hoover had his shot, but a little too much adrenaline, Chad, and it was an air ball over everything.
Chris Weems got caught on the other end a little bit inside that 3-point arc, and he just overshot it by a few inches. If he would have been beyond that 3-point arc, he'd have had his 7th in a row.
Pyle enters the ballgame now for the Bullpups, inbounds the pass to Hoover. Left side to Moffitt. Moffitt with the basketball, out top to Kelly Hoover. Alexander's on the bench for a few minutes. To Pyle, back to Hoover. He'll penetrate, kick it off the left side, down to go in the corner to Sean Peters. Baseline move to Chris Johnson, turnaround jumper's good. 51-45, the Bullpups climb back to within 6. 3:40 to go in the 4th quarter. The Bullpup faithful on their feet on the far side, clapping their hands. Martez Wesley with the basketball, out to the top of the circle on the dribble, taking his time. Hoover on him on defense. They come right side to Peyton Leslie. I'm going to look for Weems for a 3-pointer on that left wing. They go to Wesley. Wesley with the basketball. They're trying to get it down to Williamson, the big guy, and Sean Peters doing a good job fronting him. We've said that Sean hasn't been doing much tonight, but I tell you, Williamson hasn't either. Sean's been on him on defense and keeping the ball away from him. Wesley with the basketball out top, bounce pass right side to the big guy, Williamson. He's not a 3-point shooting threat. Of course, most people didn't think Chris Johnson was either, and he did one. The ball knocked away. We thought we had Hoover being elbowed out there, and no call. Wesley with the basketball. We're down under 3 minutes and counting. The Bullpups got to come out on defense because, again, with a 6-point lead, the Stallions don't need to do anything with the basketball. Weems is going to put up a 2-pointer. It's an air ball, no good. He threw up an air ball. He had no reason to shoot. He had defenders on him, and it's Bullpup basketball. Josh Alexander back in the ball game.
Big break for the Bullpups on that one. Weems looked as if he thought there was a shot clock getting ready to go off. Really threw up an errant shot.
Exactly right, but there are no shot clocks in high school basketball. 2:35 and counting, 51-45. Pups trail by 6. They've had one 1-point lead, 23-22 in his ball game. Hoover with the basketball, puts it on the floor, comes to Sean Peters on the near side. Sean on the dribble, bounce pass inside to Chris Johnson. He'll elevate, bank shot up, no good. Rebound down to 2, Peyton Leslie. And the Stallions keep the basketball. The Bullpups needed that one. Almost a double dribble by Weems over there, and I think they could have been called by the referee looking down court. And Weems was standing right next to him, nobody saw it. With the basketball on the near court, it is Weems, Alexander and Elman defense. They go out top to Peyton Leslie. Chris Johnson's on him now. They've done a little switch. Out top to Young. Brian Young with the basketball, and the Stallions just hanging on to it. Under 2 minutes to go. 51-45. The Stallions by 6. 1:50 and counting. Martez Wesley puts the ball on the floor, pulls it back out top. Feeds it on the right side to Weems. Weems with the basketball. Out top to Peyton Leslie. Back to Weems. And again, the Stallions doing a good job of taking time off the clock to go down to Wesley. He'll put up his shot. It is good. That was a muscle shot with 3 white shirts draping all over him. 53-45. It's an 8-point lead for Schlagle. Out top, Alexander with the basketball. The Bullpups can't waste time now. They got to get their points up. Josh drives in. Layup's good. He's fouled. He'll be at the line to shoot one.
When you really need it, you go to Josh Alexander. The big player's coming out at a big moment right now.
And it was Martez Wesley on the foul that time. Alexander at the line to shoot one. It's 53-47, a 6-point ball game. If Alexander makes the free throw, we're within 5. 1:23 to go. The Bullpups have got to turn up that defense because Schlagle has shown they can hang on to the basketball.
Bullpups will have to push that defensive pressure way out and try to get a steal.
Free throw up, no good. Rebound down to Chris Weems, and the Stallions control it. Bullpups drop back on defense. Hoover's going to come out at midcourt and pick up Wesley. Martez Wesley with the basketball. Dribbles to the right side, back to the left. Does a penetration move, pulls it back out top. 1:05 to go. Wesley with the basketball. Feeds it on the left side to Williamson. Williamson has Sean Peters on him. They lob it down in the corner. Brian Young, jump shot good. Got him open. Pyle with the basketball is back to an 8-point game. 55-47. Pyle on the right side. The Bullpups have got to shoot. Instead, they're going to call a quick timeout. 50 seconds to go in the game. It's an 8-point lead for Kansas City Schlagle. 55-47. We'll be back in a half a minute.
I mean, Schlagle's a heck of a team. I've been impressed with.
The big man, Chris Weems, has stepped in. He's buried 6 3-pointers. He only had 7 points at halftime, and his total now is 22.
Bullpups showing a little battling back from a 12-point deficit. It's 8 right now, and they're going to cut it down to 6 or 5 maybe.
Hoover gets the ball on the inbounds play. The Bullpups back to action. Hoover on the right side. Out top to Alexander. Josh penetrates. Go to Fiedler. NBA three-pointer. It rims off no good, but Alexander runs down the rebound. He'll pop a three-pointer. It's a net. Nothing but net. He buried a 3 and a quick timeout.
Josh Alexander grabbing the rebound, going to the very corner of the gym, and shoots a fadeaway rainmaker three-point shot.
This is a 40-foot roof, and if it wasn't for that, he'd have hit rafters up there. What a rainbow shot. The Bullpups pulled to within 5, 55-50. There's only 33 seconds to go, and the Bullpups, well, they've got a foul, but I tell you what, the Bullpups have 5 fouls on them, so it's going to have to foul 3 times before they send the Stallions to the line.
It's basically foul and shoot the 3 from here on out, and the Bullpups have some outstanding three-point shooters. They have a lot of people, over 50% on that team, and on that one, Bud, the Bullpups got 2 opportunities at the three-point stripe with the hustle of Josh Alexander.
Josh is playing an outstanding ball game, really the whole Bullpup team has. 55-50, the Stallions by 5. They have the basketball coming after this timeout, and they lead with 5 points, 33 seconds to go in the game. Here comes Schlagle back onto the court. Here come the Bullpups. Josh Alexander, 17 points. Chris Johnson, 15. Those have been the big men tonight for the Bullpups. Both of them juniors. They'll both be back next year. The Bullpups going to put on full court pressure now, trying to deny the inbounds pass play. They get it into Wesley. He's fouled immediately. 1 second goes off the clock. Kelly Hoover with the foul. That'll be foul number 6 on the Bullpups. And we're not shooting 1-and-1 yet. So the Bullpups, again, got to put some defense on, but it looks like they're going to drop back. Now here they come back up to get ready. It'll be Peyton Leslie to inbounds the ball. Bullpups line up. They got their three-point shooters in there. Looking for the inbounds pass, but they get it inbounds, a whistle, and another foul. 1 second went off again. We're down to 31 seconds to go, and that foul will send the Stallions to the free throw line.
And that's exactly what McPherson wanted. That's exactly what the kind of defense you have to run right now. You go for the steal, and if you can't get it, you have to foul immediately.
Well, the secret to this game is going to lie at the charity stripe for the Stallions now. If they make their free throws, the Bullpups have a mountain to climb. If they miss them, it's just a big hill. 55-50, Stallions up. Bullpups making some changes now. They bring in Brian Moffitt, take Dylan Fiedler out. That's a little bit of a surprise. Dylan, a great three-point shooter. Bullpups with their regular starting 5 in the ball game right now. Brian Young at the free throw line. He'll shoot 1-and-1. First shot up, and it's good. Whoa. Almost looked like Williamson tipped it in the cylinder, but he backed his hand away like it was hitting a hot potato.
Young using every part of that rim and making the big free throw shot for Schlagle.
56-50, Pups trailing by 6. Second free throw by Young, it's good. He makes them both. A 7-point game, 2-3 possessions. Hoover on the dribble. Feeds it left side to Brian Moffitt. Couldn't get off the three-pointer. Hoover will get it back out top. He buries a three-pointer, and the Bullpups come up quick on defense. 19 seconds to go, and the Bullpups get called for the foul. 57-53. It's a 4-point lead for the Stallions, and once again we make the long walk to the right as the Stallions will go to the free throw line. I believe it'll be Martez Wesley this time, shooting 1 and 1.
In desperation, these Bullpups are not giving up though, bud. Kelly Hoover hit that one off the board. I don't know if he intended it, but who cares? He got it to fall.
He got that one to fall. Fiedler back in the ball game now, replacing Sean Peters, and the Bullpups are going to be putting up 3-pointers. They have Chris Johnson, who's made 1 tonight. They have Brian Moffitt, Josh Alexander, Kelly Hoover, and Dylan Fiedler. Every one of them capable of 3-pointers on a regular basis. Martez Wesley at the free throw line. His shot is up, and it's no good. Kelly Hoover skied above the rim for the rebound. Hoover on the dribble, down to the top of the circle, feeds it right side. Fiedler with a 3-point shot that rims away, no good. Rebound down, whistle, and a foul. And it's going to go against Brian Moffitt. Peyton Wesley gets the rebound. He'll go to the line. 57-53. It's a 4-point lead, and for some reason, even with 10 seconds to go, you still don't feel it's quite over. But I tell you what, it is a mountain for the Bullpups to climb. If they could have got that 3-pointer, it would have been something.
And really a touch of class by Coach Mike Henson over there. Dylan Fiedler missed the 3-point shot and kind of hung his head. He was disappointed, but Coach Henson gave him a good round of applause and nice effort. Henson smiling to him and really appreciating the hard work by Dylan.
The Schlagle Stallions back away from the free throw lanes. They don't want to commit any fouls. They don't care really if they miss the shot. It'll take time off the clock. Peyton Wesley at the line. His free throw's good. Makes it a 5-point ball game, 58-53. Schlagle up by 5 with 10 seconds to go. And Peyton Wesley at the line. He's shooting the second of a 1-and-1. Taking his time, bounces the ball a couple of times. A low crouch, the shot's up and good. Inbounds pass play to Alexander. The clock is ticking. Josh drives to the right side, stops, elevates for 3. It's no good. Rebound to Schlagle, and that's it. The ball game is over, and Kansas City Schlagle wins it by 6, 59-53. This was truly a championship basketball game. The Bullpups and the Stallions battled down to the wire. This is an outstanding athletic Stallion team, a bunch of seniors out there. Many of these Bullpups will be back next year. They're hanging their heads, but I tell you what, they have nothing to be ashamed of. That was a tremendous effort by the Bullpups tonight. 59-53 our final score, and we'll be back to wrap this one up and have our post-game interviews after we take this 2-minute Bullpup timeout.